What if I told you the reason you're not rich? Honestly, it's not because you're not smart, not because you don't work hard, but because you're stuck learning the wrong money lessons too slow on dial-up speed, while the rich are downloading cheat codes on Wi-Fi 6. And by the time most people figure it out, they're 55, tired, broke, and Googling how to retire when your 401k balance is the price of a used iPad. So today, I'm handing you the exact lessons rich people learn fast and broke people never learn at all. And here's the kicker. The faster you learn these, the richer you get. Not just in cash, but in time, freedom, peace of mind, and control over your life. So, buckle up. We're diving into 10 ultra-powerful money principles that will flip your mindset, speed up your wealth building, and make you look at money like a chess master, not a pawn. This video could be a life-changing experience for you, so please listen to me carefully as I break down these 10 principles. Number 10, money isn't real. Control is. Let me hit you with something crazy. Money isn't real. Control is. Paper money, digital digits, all just illusions of value. What you're really chasing is control. Control over your time, your environment, and your decisions. Rich people get this. That's why they use money to buy options, not objects. Poor people, they use money to buy liabilities that scream status, but whisper stress every time the bill hits. It's the difference between buying a $900 iPhone with 3 cameras or building a business that earns you $900 every week while you sleep. One buys you dopamine, the other buys you decisions. Quick example. 2 people win the lottery. One buys a boat, the other buys real estate. One ends up sunburnt and bankrupt. The other ends up cash flowing for life. Guess which one understood that money is a tool, not a toy? If that shifted how you look at money, good. Because the next one is going to show you why school made you poor on purpose. 9th, school teaches obedience, not wealth. Let's get something straight. School doesn't teach you to get rich. It teaches you how to sit still, follow orders, and color inside the lines. Which, sure, is great if your dream is to be an employee for 40 years, retire on a modest pension, and brag about your Costco membership. But the wealthy? They break the script. They realize early that the school system was built during the industrial age to train factory workers, not future millionaires. They don't memorize facts. They learn skills. They don't aim for straight A's. They aim for straight assets. Real example. Warren Buffett bought his first stock at age 11. You were learning the square root of 81 and how to do the cha-cha slide in gym class. That's the wealth gap in action. And the sooner you learn that skills are greater than grades and network is greater than GPA, the richer and freer you become. Now, if you're thinking, okay, but I didn't grow up rich, how do I catch up? Don't worry, that's exactly where this next lesson slaps reality into shape. 8. No one is coming to save you. This one hurts, but it also heals. No one's coming. Not the government, not your boss, not your rich uncle with the crypto startup. It's just you. And that realization, that's the beginning of power. Because the moment you stop waiting for a raise, a stimulus check, or some magical opportunity to land in your lap, you start building your own ladder out. Wealthy people learn this early. They take radical responsibility. If they're broke, they fix it. If they lack a skill, they learn it. If the market shifts, they adapt. Here's a relatable example. You ever met someone who got laid off and just spiraled? Now meet someone else who got laid off and turned it into a 6-figure side hustle. Same problem, different programming. The rich don't panic, they pivot. And please, I have to pause the video right now and explain something to you. Most people will watch and don't apply anything I'm telling you. And it's not just this video. We've created step-by-step videos to help you fully understand and adopt these money habits. Just make sure to subscribe and join the channel to always stay updated on upcoming videos. Now, speaking of pivoting, lesson number 7 is the one that made me stop chasing money completely, and ironically, made me richer than ever. Let's talk about leverage. 7. Leverage makes you rich. Labor keeps you stuck. Here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. Hard work alone will never make you rich. Leverage will. Let me explain. Leverage is when your money, skills, systems, or other people do the heavy lifting, so you don't have to. You've got 24 hours in a day. So does Beyonce. So does that teenager making $10,000 a month on Shopify while playing Fortnite. The difference? He's using leverage. you're still trying to out-hustle minimum wage. There are 4 types of leverage that rich people use. Money, investments that make money while you sleep. People, teams, freelancers, employees, doing what you don't have to. Code, apps, automations, artificial intelligence, content, YouTube videos, digital products, newsletters that scale infinitely. Real example, you can mow lawns for $20 per hour, or build a tutorial on how to grow a lawn care business and sell it for $97. Forever. Same industry. One is sweat, the other is scale. And if that just gave you a mental facelift, wait till you see what the next lesson does to your calendar. Because rich people, they treat time like gold. Poor people, they treat it like pennies. Let's go. 6. Time isn't money, it's a multiplier. You've heard this lie your whole life. Time is money. Wrong. Time is way more valuable than money because you can always make more money, but you will never make more time. Broke people trade time for money. Rich people use money to buy back time. That's why wealthy people hire cleaners, virtual assistants, and accountants, use automations to run their business, outsource anything that isn't their zone of genius, because every hour they free up is an hour they can spend doing something more valuable, like thinking, building, or making moves. Example, if you're earning $100 per hour, why are you spending 2 hours arguing with Comcast over a $20 fee? Congratulations, you just lost $180 worth of opportunity to save $20, and probably your sanity. And speaking of sanity, let's address the psychological side of wealth, because here is the real reason you might still feel broke, even with money in the bank. 5. Mindset isn't buzzword BS, it's your bank account. Look, I used to roll my eyes every time someone said money mindset. I thought it was some fluffy self-help TikTok nonsense. Until I realized this. Your beliefs about money are the thermostat for your wealth. You might want to be rich. But if deep down you believe money is evil, rich people are greedy, or people like me never get ahead, you'll subconsciously sabotage every opportunity you get. Real example. I knew a guy who got a $30,000 bonus and immediately spent it on designer clothes and bottle service. Why? Because if I don't spend it fast, it'll disappear anyway. That's a poverty mindset in a Gucci wrapper. Wealthy people don't just make more money. They expect it, they attract it, they keep it. Their mindset is set to abundance, not accidental. Now, let's go deeper, because number 4 is where most people think they're being smart, but are actually lighting their money on fire. This next one could save you 10 years of wasted effort. 4. Frugality isn't the goal, efficiency is. This here is one of the most critical reality checks you must understand. And this point in particular is something I need to discuss with you seriously because it's gonna ruffle some feathers a bit. Cutting lattes won't make you rich, but learning how to spend smarter will. Frugality is a temporary discipline, not a permanent identity. You don't get rich by avoiding $5 coffee. You get rich by making $500 decisions, repeatedly. Wealthy people don't waste time clipping coupons. They think in terms of ROI, return on investment for every dollar. Example, spending $2,000 on a course that teaches you how to build a passive income stream equals smart. Refusing to buy it because it's expensive while blowing $150 on a bar tab equals dumb. Stop obsessing over pennies. Start thinking in terms of power. Now that you understand the difference between being cheap and being strategic, it's time for the lesson that turned my bank account from screaming to silent but deadly. And yes, it's all about silence. Let's talk about stealth wealth. 3. Stealth wealth wins the long game. Here's the thing about real wealth. It's not loud, it's not shiny, and it definitely doesn't need your approval. The richest people in your city, you've probably walked past them without even realizing it. Because they weren't in the VIP section. They were in a paid-off house, sipping drip coffee, wearing Skechers. That's stealth wealth. And it's the richest money move of all. Now, if you've been following our Stealth Wealth series, you might have heard me say this before. Broke people chase status. Wealthy people chase freedom. One spends $1,500 on a designer belt to feel important. The other invests $1,500 into a low-cost index fund and feels peaceful. Why this matters? Because quiet wealth compounds. When you're not flexing for clout, you have lower expenses. You avoid lifestyle creep. You reinvest more into assets. You sleep better at night. Stealth wealth is like being a financial ninja. You move undetected, strike with power, and never expose your hand. People can't beg you for money if they think you don't have any. You don't get judged. You don't get followed. You just get rich in peace. And honestly, freedom without the noise is the new flex. And if this made you rethink the need to flex, good. Because the next lesson will flip everything you've been told about saving money and show you the real path to wealth. 2. You can't save your way to wealth. Let's settle this once and for all. You can clip every coupon, cancel every streaming service, brew your coffee at home till the end of time, and still die broke. Because you can't save your way to wealth, at least not in any meaningful, freedom-filled way. Look, frugality has its place. Yes, you should stop blowing your entire paycheck on Amazon Lightning deals and late-night Uber Eats. But if your entire financial strategy is don't spend money, congratulations. You've just enrolled in the school of permanent scarcity. Why most people get this wrong? It's because we were taught to obsess over expenses instead of focusing on what actually builds wealth, increasing income, acquiring assets, creating leverage. Saving is defense, but you don't win games with defense alone. You need offense. Real life example. Bob saves $250 a month by meal prepping, canceling Netflix, and living like a minimalist monk. Cool. Meanwhile, Sarah launches a digital product, freelances on weekends, and starts earning an extra $2,000 a month. Bob saves $3,000 per year. Sarah makes $24,000. Now ask yourself, who's actually getting richer? And here's the kicker. Sarah can still choose to be frugal. But now it's a choice, not a survival mechanism. Big warning. The save your way to wealth advice keeps people poor, not because it's bad, but because it gives the illusion that playing small is enough. And the rich, they don't think in $5 increments. They think in scalable skills, income streams, and investments. They're not hoarding, they're multiplying. So, yes, budget wisely. Yes, have discipline. But for the love of your future self, stop making financial decisions like it's 1998. Now that we've killed the saving is enough myth once and for all, it's time for the final and most dangerous money trap of them all. Because even if you apply everything we've talked about, if you miss this final lesson, you'll always feel like a broke version of yourself, no matter how much money you make. Let's bring it home. 1. Your identity is your income. This is the deepest money truth I've ever learned, and the one most people ignore. You will never earn beyond the identity you've accepted. If deep down you believe you're not good with money, not the kind of person who gets rich, just trying to get by, then your brain will find ways to make sure that's true. You'll miss opportunities. You'll procrastinate. You'll self-sabotage. Because your identity isn't aligned with wealth. It's aligned with survival. But wealthy people, they become someone different before the money ever shows up. Example, they start calling themselves investors before they make their first dollar. They say, I run a business, even when it's just a side hustle on nights and weekends. They adopt the habits, thinking, and standards of someone rich until their bank account catches up. You want to get rich? Don't just learn tactics. Change your identity. Decide who you are, and let your actions prove it. Because once your mind believes it, your life starts reflecting it. Now let's wrap this up and put it in your pocket. The faster you learn these money principles, the richer you get. Not just in money, but in peace, in power, in freedom. Most people never learn them. You just did. Now what you do next. That's the part that separates rich thinkers from the rest. Want to keep the momentum going? Comment the words, I'm building wealth, if you're done playing small. In fact, there are actually 10 money moves rich people almost never talk about. It'll blow your mind and level up everything you just learned. Because around here, we don't just watch videos, we build wealth quietly, while everyone else is stuck trying to look rich. I'll see you in the next one.